Hey, Nigel.
Hey there, Bruce.
Happy New Year.
Right? 2026.
We did it. Have you written 2025 in the last 6 days?
You know what? Oddly, I haven't, because I keep a 5-year journal and I write in it every night.
Oh, wow.
And so I was aware that it was 2026.
I have a lot of questions about the 5-year journal. I'd forgotten you did that, but that's
5-year
amazing.
journal's great.
Yeah.
There's a page and there's 5 little spaces.
Oh,
and so you get
so cool.
It's very cool, but you only have maybe 3 inches to write in, so you write very essential things for each day.
But it's
lined up.
The 6th of January for the past 5.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool.
So now I'm on year 3, and it's really interesting to go back and see what I was thinking, and sometimes it really lines up. Like I'm thinking about the same thing 3 years later.
That's so interesting.
And it's helped me pick out things that I needed to let go of, because I'm like, are you kidding? 3 years later, I'm complaining about the same thing. Or 3 years later, I'm happy about the same thing. So it's a really cool way to track. I don't know, what's happening in your life.
Feels very appropriate to be thinking about that early in the new year.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe sort of contemplating time and the passage of time and patterns and being somewhere for a long time is an appropriate introduction for what we're here to talk about.
Absolutely.
And This is round 2 we're starting of our, I call them sleeper hits, and I always have to point out that I believe that's a misnomer, but basically what they are episodes from our 130-something episode catalog that members of the team want to revisit, feel like haven't gotten quite the attention they deserve.
Yeah.
So this is the one you've chosen. This is the first batch of the second round of these.
Yeah.
And we are going to be listening to episode 87, dropped on March 29th, 2023, called Saber-Toothed Cat. And why did you choose this one?
Okay, well, I love a story when it can just concentrate on one character, one person. Yeah. And we don't do that many of them. But when you find someone who's a good talker and who you really connect with, it's such a joy to do.
Yeah.
I don't really find many of our episodes stressful, but I guess I would say that it just has a very different rhythm when you're talking to one person. And of course, you still have to edit it together, but it's not as big of a puzzle. And I feel like you just get to know someone really well. I find them emotional and also very fun to do.
Yeah. We were actually just planning our next season yesterday. And we're thinking about, we don't have one of these. It's always such a joy to find somebody that you really want to spend this amount of time with. And where the story you feel like has enough variety and surprise that it's going to sustain for 30 or 40 or 50 minutes.
And you know what? It's interesting that we were talking about the 5-year journal, because this one, when I re-listened to, I had forgotten that this takes a couple years to complete. You're going to be surprised when we listen. Yes. It gives me kind of goosebumps when I think about it, because
So it's about one person. It's about Jerry Walker.
Yep, an OG.
Do you remember how you met him?
I believe, and I'm going to have to be corrected. I believe we met him when we were working on the episode about being an OG in prison. And he was just somebody who really stuck with me, and I wanted to talk to him more. When you find the right person, there's something about Jerry. We have, I think, a very good rapport. And I think that you hear that in the episode. And so he's easy to sort of spar with and push a little bit. And he also pushes back. So there was just a little nice spark there. And when you find someone like that to talk to, again, it makes it really fun.
Right.
Yeah. Even though we're talking about a very heavy subject, that's the weird thing.
Which is basically spending so much of your life incarcerated and now being an older person incarcerated.
Yep.
So we're going to listen to it up until the break, partway through. We'll come in and talk about some initial reactions, and then we'll come back at the end.
Sounds good.
So this is episode 87 from season 11, March 29th, 2023, Saber-Toothed Cat.
This is Ann Irwin, founder and director of Smart Justice California. The following episode of Ear Hustle contains language and content that might not be suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised.
You know, I'm really paranoid, and I want to know what I'm going into and how I get out of there. I check out who's hanging on the yard, who's hanging in these areas right around this door.
So as you were walking down here, what sorts of stuff did you notice?
There ain't no trap. I don't see like a gang of officers waiting around this corner to gaffle me up, or a gang of inmates over here to get me, or that. You do that. Mm-hmm. I do that naturally. You have to realize that I'm conditioned a certain way to react. My defenses go up soon as I come out my cell. I'm looking for a saber-toothed cat, even though they've been extinct all these years. I'm looking for that thing. When a caveman came out of his cave, he's looking for that pterodactyl, or he's looking for that saber-toothed cat, or he's looking for something to get him. And nowadays, you got people that walk out the door and get hit by a car.
Right.
But a car ain't gonna never hit that caveman because his defenses are already up.
So you're constantly vigilant.
Yeah, you got to be constantly vigilant.
One thing I can say, Nigel, is that a lot of cats that's been locked up a long time, you definitely keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the first guy we've spoken to that does this.
Right.
Hey, when we go to a restaurant, you think about where you're going to sit.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about the dude that's going to come in and rob it.
You're looking for that saber-toothed tiger?
Yes, I am.
So on the last episode, we talked about a bunch of guys like this. The OGs who have been incarcerated for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, we're going to focus on just one, Jerry Walker. When you look around this room, what do you think you notice about it that I don't?
That I notice about it?
Yeah, that I wouldn't notice because I'm not as vigilant as you are.
That if there was no other way out, I could climb out of here. The opening up there, as old as I am, I'd have problems getting up there, but I look for, and then I noticed that there are some windows where I could get out of here. I noticed that there's not a lot of security back here.
Do you feel safe in this room now?
Well, know what? I'm gonna say something. Don't take this personally, but when he came in, I felt a lot less safer.
Who's he talking about?
It was just like some random person who walked through the room while we were doing the interview. I mean, Jerry didn't really overly react, but you could see he noted it. It was like, ooh, something in the room shifted.
Got you.
My environment changes, I change.
So do you think because of how hypervigilant you are, you're a good read of character?
I read character pretty good.
What do you read about this dude?
He got the openness in the face, exudes a lot of honesty. He don't even have to say nothing. He exudes a lot of honesty, and it's partially the way he walk.
Yeah.
He don't walk like a convict. He walks more like a free person.
Interesting. Okay, give me a read of me.
I've seen you a lot. And you walk like one of the homegirls. I asked somebody the first time I seen you, I said, who's that? They tried to say your name. I still ain't got your name. Nigel.
Yeah, that's
something.
right. That's right. You got it.
And she runs the media. Oh man, she's gonna want to talk to you, man. I don't want to talk to these people, man. I'm out of here. So I take off.
But we won you over.
Yeah.
Typical OG doesn't want to say nothing to nobody.
Yeah, but in the end, they come around.
Well, some of them. Good thing for us, this guy did. I'm Earlonne Woods.
I'm Nigel Poor. This is Ear Hustle from PRX's Radiotopia.
So, Earlonne, I don't think you ever met Jerry Walker at San Quentin.
Nah, I don't think I knew him.
And I know you're a super observant guy and not much gets past you, but even you might not have noticed him.
Oh, he was one of them low profile cats.
Exactly. He just doesn't take up a lot of space.
New York. You remember Jerry?
Yeah, he's always around, but you don't see him.
And it's not like he's this little guy.
Nah,
right?
Very tall black man, but he just blends in somehow. I don't know if he has a cloak of invisibility something. The next thing you know, I'm minding my own business and he's there.
Yeah,
Where'd
I mean, he does
from?
not draw attention to himself.
Not at all.
Here's the one thing that I'm always trying to do. How would you put it? It's a collage. That whole wall is painted that way, and you look at it, and then a guy walks out of there. They blend it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Camouflage, man.
I'm trying to get to that point at all times. Mm-hmm. That's my whole thing, is not to become noticed.
I think that's a great survival technique. Mm-hmm. If you're not there, then nobody's paying attention to you, then you don't get hurt.
I wouldn't mind if some of the younger guys at San Quentin learned that.
To roam or to disappear?
No, to not take up so much space.
Young people need attention. They different.
They sure do.
Earlonne, when New York and I met Jerry, he had done 46 years in prison.
You know what? You don't often meet people who have done that much time.
He is basically a walking encyclopedia of the prison experience.
He's an expert.
Yeah.
During your 46 years, what is the most unusual place you had to live?
Vacaville was...
What does that mean?
Okay, I explained that to you.
Do you know what he means by...
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay, Earlonne, I know you weren't there, but at this moment in the interview, Jerry made this kind of hand gesture, and I think it was dismissive.
Right.
And basically he was saying that this particular prison, it was too soft for him.
Yeah, I mean, guys like Jerry, you know, they from a different time. You know, they from when prison was really hard and nobody was talking about their feelings. You know, they probably would have been victims if they talked about their feelings back in those days. I mean, shit, you seen the movies?
But at this place, that was the kind of thing you had to do.
Within your first week, you have to get up and you tell your story.
Wait, what year was this?
This is 74. You have to tell them, yeah, I'm here and I was an alcoholic and I killed somebody because I was under the influence, or I was a gang member, or...
I mean, I know these conversations. They're the kind of thing guys talk about in all of the various self-help groups that are very popular now.
Especially at San Quentin, where there's a real focus on reform and rehabilitation. But back when Jerry started out, prison was really stripped down.
I mean, guys didn't even have TVs in their cells back then.
And that's why a lot of those guys were scholars. They just read. It was cool to be smart back then, you know? There was nothing else to do.
What did you have in the cell then?
Nothing. One of them boxes over there.
He's pointing at like a 2-by-3 foot box.
All your property would fit in there, and that's transcripts from your court and everything else.
Okay, so in your cell there was... What was in there?
Nothing. Books. Or you had a radio.
Okay.
And you had a speaker in there, and you could turn it to A or B, and either have country western or rock on one station, or rhythm and blues and something else on the other station.
And that's it. So you can only listen to stuff.
Yeah.
And then, so you got state issue clothes. Like what did you have for clothes? Tell me all the clothes that you owned.
You had two different types of clothes. You had khaki material clothing, and you had denim. The denim you could only wear to trade and to work sites. If you was going to go to the library, if you was going to go any place else visiting, you had to get into what they call polished cottons. You had a khaki-colored set of clothing, and you had a powder blue khaki material set of clothing that you could wear on a visit. You was wearing...
So like how many pairs of pants and shirts? And
5.
5 pants? How many tops?
5.
How many pairs of underwear?
7.
How many pairs of socks?
7.
T-shirts?
7.
Shoes?
1.
Those are all the clothes you had?
Yeah.
What I love about this is that Jerry Walker remembers all of this. And it's like 40 years ago. He remembers all the details.
Yeah, no, I mean, what else does he have to remember? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, seriously,
Okay.
in prison it's like one thing.
Yeah.
One thing that happens continuously over and over and over and over and over.
Right.
So you don't really forget it.
What was the food like in 74 before packages?
Oh, man. They fed you good in the chow hall. Okay, you take a doggy bag to breakfast with you, to lunch with you, and to dinner with you. You know, you might only half of your steak at dinner.
Steak?
Yeah, you didn't get hamburgers and hot dogs for dinner.
You got like real food.
Yeah.
That somebody
lunch,
was making from scratch.
hot dogs, hamburgers, and casseroles was lunch meals. Pork steak, pork chops, ribeye, round steak, chicken.
On the bone?
Yeah, on the bone. Always on the bone then, not this stuff that they give you today.
So you weren't getting that processed food out the can and the salad out the bag? Wow.
What about dessert?
Cakes. They had bakery. You had bakery, butcher shop, vegetable preparing rooms at every prison. It was like a lot of food.
Describe the CMC cells.
They're over under. One cell's a upper bunk, the next cell's a lower bunk.
All right, Erlon, let's try to explain this succinctly because you really need a diagram. And obviously we can't have a diagram here.
You know what it's like? It's almost like one cell is like an L. And then the other cell next to it is like a backward C.
It's like a bunk bed, but you're not in the same room. You're like, if you're on the bottom, you're in an alcove, and if you look up, you see the cement or whatever of the other cell where they're sleeping.
It's more of metal. Like the whole wall is metal. So, you
But
know.
regardless of the material, you can't see the person, but they are sleeping above you.
I know I said an L and a C. Turn the L backwards and then turn the C the right way, and that's how it's positioned.
I think the easiest thing to say is that the bunk bed, but they are in different rooms.
Jigsaw.
Okay. Also, I imagine it's like if you ever slept on a train.
So you're not finished with this.
But
And then when they put a second person in that cell, they put a bed that folds up. And you gotta put it down.
No.
You gotta put it down for your cellie to go to sleep. And once you put it down, it blocks up the whole cell. There's no floor no more.
There's no floor.
And that's what's considered a king size.
a lower.
We're on a lower. If he rolls over, we're in the bed together.
What do you mean a lower?
So the way the lower works, right? Like this person's sleeping on the bottom here.
Yeah.
And this bed that pulls up is like they're right in your face.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right in each other's face.
If you're in that kind of cell,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. Cozy.
Yeah, he rolled over and, you know,
You can fall right into your bed.
yeah, right into
dreams.
your bed. Or if he has to get up to use the restroom, he got to step on you or move all the way to the end. I told him, we're not sleeping in there. I said, you can sleep in the morning or afternoon. Let me know what you can do while I'm here. From 10 o'clock at night until 6 in the morning, we're going to play cards or watch TV or we're going to read or whatever, you know.
So you took shifts, you took turns sleeping during the day?
Yeah, during the day.
The idea of sleeping that close to a man was just too much to take. So you rather disrupt your whole
I
sleeping
think it
pattern?
was more just the perception of somebody walking by and seeing me.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
So because of that, you completely changed your sleeping pattern.
yeah. You change your sleeping patterns no matter where you are.
You know, Erlon, listening to this, what really strikes me is that Jerry is really good at adapting.
The word he keep using is coping, and it's kind of his superpower.
And the best example of that might be pretty early on in his sentence, Jerry got in trouble and he was transferred to Pelican Bay and put in this special unit for people who are separated from the general population. Can you describe, as if you're walking in for the first time, what does the unit look like?
When you come in the unit, you're kind of confused. It's like a maze in there. Like you're just going around in circles and circles. And then you're in the unit. The cells are right there. They walk you to the end of it.
And what do you remember?
As soon as you step in, there's a toilet right there. About 10 feet to where the bunks are on the back of the cell. Like if I'm standing at the door of the cell, the bunks are on that wall right there.
Okay.
They're concrete with 2 slots that you put your property in.
And when you go in there, do you get a sense of the other people who have spent time in there? Can you tell other people have been in there?
Sometimes.
What gets left behind?
Markings. Somebody always put, I was here, put their name on there.
Yeah.
That used to be a superstition. Don't put your name on the wall or else you'll come back.
So
Some guys, that was their way of
exist.
to exist, yeah. Usually blacks were more superstitious. They ain't writing on no wall. They don't want to come back.
So
Hispanics or whites, they don't care. They're going to mark their name on there so their homeboys or friends or whatever would know that they've been there.
Did you ever write anything on the wall?
No. I told you I'm superstitious.
I guess.
I'm not coming back. But I always returned. You don't have nothing. You didn't get nothing.
No books.
No books.
What clothes do you have?
T-shirt, shorts.
Nothing
Socks.
and socks.
Nothing else.
No blues.
Lunch. No.
And so how do you cope without books? Do you have writing paper, pen?
No.
You can't write letters?
No.
So what did you do in there? How did you cope?
Probably the first thing you're going to do is sleep, exercise, eat, and sleep.
How did you know what time it was?
If you weren't tired enough to go to sleep, then it was exercise time. If they weren't feeding you, it was exercise time. After you get through exercising, you wash off and you go to sleep. And you sleep until you wake up again and need to exercise again, or they opened up the tray slot and you know it's time to eat.
So when you ate, like, how was the food and how did they feed you?
I'm not a gourmet, so I eat food to live. I've always did that. Taste, a lot of times, don't even matter. I'm just eating to fight hunger and to nourish myself. Even now, I don't eat for taste.
Are you actually underground?
No,
No. Okay. All right.
it's not underground, but it feels like it because there's no windows. If you're escorted someplace, you don't see no windows, no nothing.
What else?
White. You start noticing all the white. They shut the door, put your hands through, they unhandcuff you, and then they leave. Bang. Then all of a sudden you don't hear no noise. Next thing you know, somebody's at the door. You don't even know they walked up because you can't hear them come.
It's a solid metal door.
It's plexiglass over 1,000 eyes, I call it.
The metal honeycombs.
Yeah.
So, what happens to you when there's no sound? What changes for you?
I can't speak for everybody,
For you?
but for me, I just cope with it.
You say you didn't notice it at first. How did you start to notice, wait, I'm not hearing
Somebody
anything?
came through the tray slot, and the tray slot opened, and then the noise came in. If you live by a freeway, that's
I
a
live
good
by a freeway, yeah.
example. If you live by a freeway, when you open your door,
Yeah.
and then tweak that a little bit more to where it's even quieter when the door isn't open, and it's louder when the door is open. Magnify it.
I went to the hole in 2012 for 8 months.
Yeah.
Once I got books and writing paper, I actually liked the hole because I like to read and I like to be by myself. And it just allowed me to write really good letters. I like to write when I didn't have the time to do in population.
Yeah.
But that first week or two, when I didn't have any property, no soap, no food, no deodorant, no toothpaste, I didn't have a book, I didn't have paper, it was nerve-wracking. Once I got acclimated and learned how to make a fishing line and got in the swing of things and learned how to trade books with other people and got cool on the tee, it was easy. Like I liked it after that. But you can't fish. You got the rubber thing blocking. Like, how do you come out of that? Yeah, but the soap they give you is a hotel bar soap, right? The hand soap. It's not gonna last, right?
Yeah, it's gonna last.
For what, a day? 2 bird baths and it's gone? But let me get to the point. Like, so what changed when you came out of it? What changed about you?
You mean what changes it made on me?
Yeah, how did it affect you?
It didn't really affect me. But you ain't supposed to be there but 5 days.
Yeah, but you were there for 90.
Yeah, maybe you can't remember, but I think what we're pressing you on is, it had to. I mean, what did it do to you? Like, okay, I hear you slept, you ate, you exercised.
Yeah.
And then what else? Like,
you exercise again. I don't do a lot of thinking about the streets. That's when I think you do the crying, thinking of your grandparents, your parents. You might go through your times table, whatever. Do you know how that song gets stuck in your head and it keeps going over and over? Everything is that way then. I could direct what my mind concentrate on. And what you do is start pushing endorphins, what makes you feel good. Whatever makes you feel good, you're going to push that endorphin.
Like what?
Friends, family, music, things you want to do, things you know.
So it sounds like what you're saying is you create you create a strong mental life.
Yeah.
And you relive things over and over.
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you tell time?
You didn't worry about it. I want to get out of there when I want to get out of there. When I first went back there, I thought you're back there 5 days and they bring you out. Mm-hmm. And so when I figured it was about 5 days, I didn't come out. And I'm not going to ask them. That's what they're waiting for. You can't come out of there that way. The main thing you're trying to do is not look weak, not submit, like being a prisoner of war.
Erlen, do you know what really blows my mind here?
What's that?
That he had the restraint to not ask when he was getting out. Like that, it's so hard to get. If you haven't had this experience, it's really hard to get your mind around that, because the only thing I could imagine is being obsessed with, when is this over? When is this over? When is this over? And like, he just did not let his mind go there.
Do you think he gave up?
No, I think it's a kind of power of will.
Yeah, I mean, either you have it or you don't.
Could you have done that, Erlen?
Hell no. After 5 days, maybe 4.5, I'd have been banging on the door. Hey,
let me out.
Let me out.
Yeah.
Let me out this motherfucker.
We're going to take a quick break.
We'll be right back.
There's so much there, my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
I feel like we're just coming up for air or something. It feels like we really...
I mean, like, there's so many things that stood out to me. One, the freaking sound design.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
So good.
It's good, right?
It's so good.
I was glad because we're in this moment of thinking about sound design for the next year. And I thought, oh, yeah, we should look back at this.
This is, I think, a really good lesson in effective sound designing, because it's subtle, but it brings you right. Oh, that section where they're talking about there's no sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. And it does the thing that I always want your hustle episodes to do, where you're laughing. It's so light. It's light and easy. And then there's these really difficult moments where you feel claustrophobic, even hearing it.
Yeah.
Like when he's talking about after 5 days, no one came for him. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, I'm not going to say anything. And I just my heart starts pounding just imagining being in that situation of not knowing.
Yeah. It's interesting. It just has more of a feeling, I guess. There's like a lack of light in it.
Yeah.
And I think for some reason Well, one thing I was thinking of was talking about people who do and don't write on the walls and why you would or wouldn't. And that line about like, I'm here is just so sort of crushing in a way, because you think Jerry Walker was in prison for 47 years, over 47 years in California prisons. How many thousands of people have been there? And I'm just like, like what mark did they leave, and how many hundreds of thousands of people have experienced the same thing he has. Anyway, I think both the like close-upness and the big picture of it is striking me more now.
Also, he's so, like, the quality of his voice is super engaging. He's very self-aware. And it feels like when he's telling something that happened to him, that he's right back in that moment. He's just so good at sharing information. You just feel like you really are getting to know how he operates in an intimate way.
I like it. It's a harder, in a way, it's like an easier episode to make because it just has one person's voice, so you decide which order you share what they've told you. But in a way, I think, I mean, there's not really a story that is going to keep people listening from beginning. Like, you're not listening to see what happens at the end. How does this story resolve? You actually just have to buy into, like, this is a guy I want to spend time with.
Well, also, there's so much information in it, too. Like, about the clothes, things that I love when you get a list, like the clothes that he owned. Trying so hard to describe that over, under.
You know what happened? I remember at the time, I was like, I still don't get this. I think I was probably annoying people in the editing. I was like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And at the time, I never understood it, but I totally understand it now. I don't know what my problem was.
That's interesting. So, I mean, I think that does suggest like you got to step back sometimes. And the description of the extra bed. So there's things that, like he's sort of explaining without saying it, like the fear of being seen, that he might be gay. He's like, I'm going to stay up all night because I don't want someone to roll over and see me next to a person. He never comes out and says it, but that's very clear what some of his fears are, and that he would change all his patterns.
And that moment, a moment that sticks with me from this is describing him as somebody who kind of fades into the background. That's another thing that seems to kind of speak to the world of prisons so much that they're, I mean, maybe the world in general, but I feel like in prisons as well, because like you're under such a lens in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
The ability to do that and the awareness that there are hundreds of people that have sort of become good at that.
And it's interesting that neither New York nor Erlon really knew much about him. And two people that had spent a lot of time in prison and knew a lot about prison. This guy was even able to sort of hide from those people.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to take a break. We're going to listen to the second segment. And then we'll come back and wrap up.
Excellent. And what was the most surprising thing that happened to you while you were in there? Like, what didn't you expect to have happened that happened?
That I didn't start screaming like everybody else. Ah! When the tray slot come open, that's what you hear. Guys that couldn't cope. Get the psych up here and let's see if we... And then them guys are gone. You don't see them no more. You don't see them anyway. I say you don't hear them no more. Then somebody else will come in there a few days. He'd be belligerent. Then he'll leave out screaming.
So you walked in and walked out the same?
No. You never walk in nothing. How can you? No, you don't walk in and walk out the same. I have a lot of stuff that I hide. My paranoia is a lot more. My vertigo is a lot worse. Everything's a lot worse. My suspicion of people, my way of dealing with people, my reliance on what I could feel, what I could smell, what I could taste, what I could see, what I could touch. If I can't do that, I don't want to hear about it. You trust people less. You rely on people less. You rely more on yourself. And you utilize less.
Hey, maybe at first Jerry's self-reliance was like, a strategy or a tool of survival. But now, I don't think he could be any other way.
I know. I mean, it's just like part of who he is now. And sitting with him, you realize that he just doesn't need anybody or really anything.
Self-sufficient.
Me and my brother, Robert, he's 4 years older than me. We're totally opposites. You know what I mean? He's worked for the Department of Motor Vehicles for 40, 45 years. Wherever I go, I call. Yeah, this is a call from Jerry Walker. He's at San Quentin prison, blah, blah, blah. So he knows where I'm at now. But he's going to write, man, if you need anything, man, let me know. And I'm in the cell, and I barely got toothpaste and the stuff I need, but I don't overuse it, you know what I mean? That's not my way of doing things. He deserved everything he got. Mm-hmm. He chose that life. Why would I have him sacrifice?
I can't remember what the exact word was, but you kind of said, like, you don't need much. For example, when New York was talking about the soap, he's like, that's not enough soap. And you said, no, it's plenty of soap. Yeah, so you have a very different view of what enough is. So do you think your view of what is enough is different than a lot of people's? You seem to not need a lot.
No, I don't need a lot.
Yeah. But what do you need? What do you need?
The one thing I'm not going to get. Freedom. But real freedom.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about just let me out to where I could go to a factory and work. No, the freedom where I could get out and I could live off the land. Where I go fishing, getting food, finding a place to sleep at, and even in here, it don't seem it, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. I always get an almanac every year. And so I always have the Constitution and the amendments. And from the start, we gave up our rights to fish, hunt, use the restroom where we want to not live on the streets and all this other stuff. And the government is supposed to give you freedom. But even before the ink could dry, they're like, yeah, but we're going to tell you how freedom is. It's not your freedom. You're giving away for the way they want you to act. To basically enslave yourself. And I can't get over that. 40-some years later, I still can't get over it.
What do I need to know about you? To know you?
Oh, man. I would like to be honest, and I want to be as honest as I can be with whoever I'm talking to at that present moment, you know what I mean? But the closer you get to society and established rules, the more I pull away. Another thing you'd know about me is I'm sensitive. There's a lot of things I have suspicion about. I've never committed a murder. I've assaulted people, and I assault them to let them know, just don't mess with me. Just leave me alone. I won't bother you. I won't tread on your toes. But I don't want to do that sin. I do not want to kill nobody.
Jerry said there was this other thing that he learned to do while he was in Pelican Bay. Do you remember when he said he'd think about those memories and push endorphins that made him happy?
Mm-hmm.
So there was this whole soundtrack that would go through his mind to accompany these memories. You know, like he would score them.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
When I was in the unit, sometimes I found myself singing or humming. It's distraction. The music will always be whatever you're thinking about. Your last dance, your last party, your last time you seen that person. It's like when I think of my brothers, usually Temptations. They dressed like the Temptations, you know, they even had acts where they danced like the Temptations dance. When I think of my homeboys, it might be a little bit more rock, like America, beginning of ABBA.
Well, that surprised me.
What?
ABBA.
I like.
Okay,
that's a good group.
Yeah. Just didn't expect it.
I listened to Grateful Dead. Listened to Santana.
You know, I'm going to ask you to sing something.
I can't sing.
You did it in the vacuum? Just pretend you're in the vacuum.
That's to myself.
Well, just pretend you're in the vacuum.
Okay, I'll do one. I was slipping into darkness when I heard my brother say,
And that's kind of where we left it with Jerry.
Then the pandemic happened. It ended up being 3 long years before we caught up with Jerry Walker again.
Well, maybe then I'll start my question.
We asked Jerry to come back down to the media lab to talk with us, and we pretty much picked up the conversation right about where we left off.
So in our interview, you talked about what real freedom means to you. And for you, real freedom would just be to sleep wherever you wanted to sleep, fish, and eat whenever you wanted to eat. Do you remember that?
Yeah, if I was able to, I would like to. The thing is that that's not a possibility now.
Jerry sounded like the oomph got knocked up out of him.
Oh, Erlon, it was kind of a shock. I mean, he was diminished. It was tough. I mean, he'd gotten COVID, and it really took a toll on him.
Yeah, I think it did a number on the older crowd.
Yeah.
I couldn't run to that wall. I can't run from a dog. Yeah. I couldn't fight him off.
So are you saying it's better for you to be in here?
I don't know. It's never better for you to be in here, not with the type of stuff that goes on in here. It's hard for me to move. You know, I barely get through each day.
Oh, boy. And you walked all the way down here?
Yeah.
You sang for me last time, and I was hoping you'd sing a little bit more of Slipping into Darkness for me. It was so good.
No, well, now I'd have to ask for royalties because...
I'll give you royalties.
because you know, the first time was for free. Now, since you...
because I want it so much, you're going to charge me?
Yeah.
Oh, you're hard. Ain't
that what everybody else do in this world?
Just a couple lines.
Oh, man. I don't know why you're putting pressure on me.
Because you have such a good voice?
No, I don't have no voice.
Yes, you do. I remembered your voice more than I remembered your face.
Let me see. Well, I was slipping into darkness when I heard my brother say, I was slipping into darkness when I heard my brother say, he said, you've been slipping into darkness and soon you'll have to pay. I think that's it. I don't know if that's the right lyrics.
So, Nigel, could you imagine doing 46 years in prison?
My immediate answer would be, no, I don't think I could. But there's some situations where you absolutely couldn't know until you were in it. Me sitting across from you in a studio right now, no, I don't think I have that will.
It's a long time, It's a long time.
Well, I don't know when we're going to see Jerry again, but I definitely want to catch up with him.
I like when these old cats get on the mic. They give us something that we don't usually get.
I know. I mean, their memory is, I don't know, it's a museum in a way.
Yeah,
right? It's a museum of the history of a prison.
Definitely, and we did make a record of them.
I got to introduce you next time we go in.
Please do. Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Wow.
We're back.
We're back. What do you think, Bruce?
Well, a lot of things. I'd totally forgotten Slipping into Darkness. Yeah, I'd just forgotten the timeline, too, that we'd talked to him, I guess, before March of 2020. And then we finally released it 3 years after that.
I don't know why we waited so long.
Yeah.
He might be in the OG episode, but there was two, like Amy wanted to cut so much, which would make sense. And so we were like, we should just make an episode with him.
I mean, it's one of the things you can do when you make a podcast for a long time is that stuff sticks around and it sort of ages in interesting ways, and you get to it when you get to it.
It's so interesting. We started talking about the 5-year journal because this really is a story that developed over, 3 years, 4 years?
At least, yeah.
That's crazy.
And that thing that you said at the end about the museum, it's funny, I've been thinking about that, about Ear Hustle more generally recently. Is that 8 years in, or? Yeah, I feel like it's not what you all set out to do, but I think the sort of like oral history of a place is something that I've been thinking about more recently. And this is I love that this particular story is documented.
Yeah. It also makes me think about how guys this age that were in prison for so long had such a different experience than people are having now. They were so much more isolated. One, because now they have the tablets.
Right.
They can do video visits. Obviously, they didn't have those things, and prison was much more closed off. I think you really get the sense that he lived in another world. And one of the things that really shocked me, I remember when he said it and thinking about it again now, is when he's talking about what freedom is. Yeah. You think he's going to say he wants to get out of prison, but it isn't that. It's that he's desiring a freedom that he said people gave up, as soon as the Constitution was signed.
Right. You start thinking about freedom differently if you've been locked away for that long.
Totally. And, also when he says, I didn't kill anyone, I don't want that crime. I also like that I don't know what his crime was, but you think, wow, what did he do that he was in prison for so long? He didn't commit murder.
Right. Yeah, I like that we don't pause on that, but it is pretty profound that he's been in there for that long. Because whenever you hear a sentence that long, of course, you immediately assume that that's for murder.
Yeah, and he's so deliberate when he says, I don't remember his exact words, but he's like, I don't want to commit that sin.
Yeah.
And then he says, yes, I've assaulted people. He has this real code that he appears to live by. And I hope people hear the difference in his voice when he sings.
Yeah.
But I think it's very emotional to hear him sing that at the end, because he's clearly, at this point, really is slipping into some kind of darkness. And but he kind of, when I'm sort of pushing him to sing, you kind of hear that little spark in his voice again, like his voice gets a little more animated. Interesting ending choice.
I was very surprised in a nice way to hear him talk about a brother, because up until that point, you don't imagine. I mean, I guess that's the thing about the way he tells his story, and maybe about imagining somebody being in prison for so long. It just feels like he's so solitary. You don't imagine necessarily the life he has outside.
I know you want to ask if I've seen him since. I feel really weird that I haven't.
Yeah.
Like I want to track him down, and if he's still at San Quentin, I want to sit down and listen to this with him again.
Did you? Do you remember?
Yeah, I
doing
remember
this
we
at the
listened
time?
to it and he loved it.
Oh, he did.
But it's been a while, so obviously. So I'd love to listen to it with him again and see what stands out for him.
I'm very glad to have revisited this one. There's like a lot more there than I remembered.
I'm glad to hear that. That makes me really happy.
Okay, now let's listen to the credits.
Ear Hustle is produced by me, Nigel Poor, Earlonne Woods, Amy Standen, and Bruce Wallace, along with Neroli Price and Rasan New York Thomas.
With help from Tony Tafoya and Rashid Zinneman. This episode was sound designed and engineered by me, Earlonne Woods, with help from Fernando Arruda.
It features music by Antoine Williams, Earlonne Woods, Rashid Zinneman, and David Jossi.
Amy Standen edits the show. Shubnam Sigmund is the managing producer, and Bruce Wallace is our executive producer.
Thanks to acting warden Oak Smith. And as you know, every episode of Ear Hustle has to be approved by this woman here.
I am Lieutenant Giamare Berry, the Public Information Officer here at San Quentin State Prison, and I approve this episode.
This episode was made possible by the Just Trust, working to amplify the voices, vision, and power of communities that are transforming the justice system.
Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter, The Lowdown, where you can learn more about each episode and find out what the Ear Hustle team is up to. Please subscribe at earhustlesq.com/newsletter. You can also find the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at earhustlesq.
Ear Hustle is a proud member of Radiotopia from PRX, a network of independent, creator-owned, listener-supported podcasts. Discover audio with vision at radiotopia.fm. I'm Earlonne Woods.
I'm Nigel Poor.
Thanks for listening. Jigsaw. We've confused everyone.
Radiotopia.